Hey you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor. The voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time. And SpongeBob SquarePants. Meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh. And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned. My friend's going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Hey, welcome to another episode of The Dorkening. We are live. We got an awesome show for you today. Just wanted to give a heads up. We know a lot of madness is happening right now, and we want to view this as like an escape of reality. So just sit back, maybe get some laughs in you, and we're gonna have a great time. With us today, we have, as always, Senor James. How's it going, sir?
Happy New Year, everybody. It's my first show back from the holidays, so happy New Year.
Happy. And our good friend Rich, the CT Joker.
What up? Coming to you from Arkham. What?
So you guys have...
Is that a cat right there, Rich?
Yeah.
I just see this little mound of fur, and I'm like, is that a cat? I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, we have Bud and Lou.
Okay.
Who, of course, Harley Quinn's hyenas.
Oh, nice.
Named after Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
Okay, I never realized that's why that's their names.
Yeah, that's where it comes from.
But she only had one hyena in the movie.
Yes, and they named him Bruce.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, they've got to change things for the movies, as we all well know.
And then they try to change it back and change it again.
Well, I mean, they reboot the universe. They, reboot the
just
whole...
like comics.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
We're going through another reboot right now. I just had Future State is starting for DC. They're rebooting everything again. So I have a Batman #1 and a Superman #1 in my box right now.
I don't even know how you could keep price guides anymore. There've been so many #1s.
Oh yeah. Well, you got #1 Volume 1, #1 Volume 2, #1 Volume 3. I think Batman, we're at Volume 5 now.
Yeah.
How many times can you tell the same story? How many times do you have to see those pearls hit the puddle? How many times?
Well, even the cartoons they rebooted as well with the DCEU. Have you been keeping up with the cartoons? No.
Oh, the movies?
Yeah, the cartoon movies. Yeah.
Oh yeah, those were fantastic. Warner Brothers animation is really, really good. Warner Brothers live action, not so much.
I didn't really like the most recent Death in the Family animated. It's like they told the same story, and
they took the same animation. They took Under the Red Hood, the actual movie from Under the Red Hood, spliced new scenes, made it choose your own adventure, and yeah, it is not good at all.
I mean, I never watched the last one, the one that ended that universe's arc.
Oh, Dark Apocalypse,
Apocalypse War or something like that.
You need to watch that. That is really good.
I've seen the ending.
The Justice League Dark one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
It's dark. It's everybody dies.
It's phenomenal.
Oh, I mean, it's 100%. It's like I said, they did it right. I want to be like, can you take those people and give them $150 million movie and see what they can do with it? Like, please. Because even like the Constantine movies, like the two they came out with, like that's awesome. Please, can you do that? Like, just I'm okay with the guy who plays John Constantine too. Like, I know he's their Constantine, but it's like, yeah, okay, you give him more money and give him a better script.
Yeah, there you go.
James, it sounds like you may have watched something that you're not too fond of.
So, we'll lead off with our wonderful background that shows it. It's actually perfectly captioned right in the corner. It tells you exactly what we're talking about, but she's all covered up, except for other parts of her body. I watched Wonder Woman 84. I watched it with Jen. I watched the first 45 minutes of it, and then we had to stop watching it. And then Jen watched like the next 45 minutes of it, and then I came in after that, and I watched the end of the movie. And she basically goes like, "Oh, I'm asked what happened." She goes, "Oh, you learn about the 80s, and that's about it. Oh, and that Kristen Wiig is strong. That's it." I'm like, "That's it?" She goes, "Yeah, it's 45 minutes long of like that." I was like, "Oh." Is there any plot development? And she goes, "Not really," because I came in right when they were in Egypt, or right where they were in the Middle East. That's where I picked up from and watched to the end.
Yeah.
and I kind of was like, okay. I love Gal Gadot. I think she's awesome. I think that's her role. I still don't know what the plot of the movie was. Chris Pine was in there for some reason, and it was the most not 80s movie that was set in the 80s known to man. Like, it was funny because I went back and watched that 45-minute chunk I missed when they're flying over DC, and she's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, it's the 4th of July." You would never have known that unless she was like, "Oh look, fireworks! It's the 4th of July," because there was no mention of it in the story that it was set in July of 1984.
Well,
it was just this.
Then the end of the movie is at Christmas time.
Well, they're wearing like long sleeve outfits in July in Washington D.C. I don't care if it's fashion or not. It was probably 98 degrees and 130% humidity in DC in July.
Yeah.
Because it's a swamp.
Plus, in the 80s, you had that nice nylon cotton mix that like really amplified the heat.
So, and it was like one of those things where, like you had the armor scene, and I was like, okay, like I thought this armor was supposed to be like indestructible.
Yeah.
And it gets destroyed within like 8 seconds. Okay. And then I was like, so there's this big epic build up to this one scene, and it's just like a shrug off moment. Like the whole part where she like lassos the lightning. And I'm like, that's an epic scene. And it was like a throwaway scene in the movie. Like that was such an epic scene in the trailer. And I'm like, oh, that's probably leading up to this big no, it was like her getting home.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, like, okay.
So we should say that there definitely is going to be spoilers. So if you haven't seen Wonder Woman and you plan on seeing it, maybe step away for a bit, but then come on back.
And what was the master plan of the villain? Like, what was Max Lord's end game?
He
all powerful.
Yeah.
To what point? Like, he literally was making the world end. Like, why did he want to become the wish stone or whatever it was, the monkey paw? Like,
well, it seemed like he was a failed con man, and it was all falling apart for him in the beginning of the movie. And he has this like touching scene with his son where he's
that was awesome. And then it was
I'm gonna be super. I'm gonna be like the best guy. You're gonna be really proud of me. And he takes it to extremes, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I like Pedro Pascal, and I thought he was awesome in it. It was really funny to see him kind of compared to like the Mandalorian and this.
Yeah. And no mustache.
Yeah, that was weird, no mustache. But he also has that, like, he reminded me a lot of like a used car salesman. So maybe that's what like he was supposed to like show.
Well, he was an 80s con man,
Yeah, right. I enjoyed it. Sorry, go ahead, Rich.
No, I was just saying that the way that he played it super over the top, like you said, versus Mandalorian, where he was so low key. It was cool to see that kind of range, but it was also kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I thought Kristen Wiig killed it. I thought she was awesome. I know Patty Jenkins, they greenlit Wonder Woman 3, which is going to be the final Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be a contemporary. It's going to be set in present day. Whatever present day timeline is. And they've hinted at like Chitara will still be like the main baddie because she never renounced her wish. And I kind of sat there, I was like, that's really it? Like, you have to renounce your wish? Like, okay. Like, it just felt like it was very weak exposition, and it was very weak. So did Wonder Woman save the day, or was she kind of just like Jiminy Cricket at the end of the day?
Well, I mean, she convinced everybody to renounce their wish, and that saved the day. Yeah, it was definitely way too long. There were some awesome scenes in it, definitely with the lightning. The fight with Chitara should have been way longer than that.
Yeah, the build up for her, it was really
and again,
it was over in like 8 minutes.
Oh, yeah, and then it was in dark. Like, I hate when they like, dude, if you don't feel comfortable having a CGI character, don't put a CGI character there.
Yeah,
like, don't throw it in the darkness so we can kind of see it, but not really. Like, I don't know. Maybe if I was in a theater and not watching it at home, I would have a different reaction to it, where I don't have my phone on me. I can't get up and get to the kitchen and make food, and I have other distractions. But it never really held my attention. I do have to say though, the opening scene on Themyscira and the mall scene was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
I thought, I'm like, okay, cool. I can get behind this. This movie like is right off the bat. Still don't get the Themyscira scene. Don't know what that had to do with anything about the movie. I think they wanted to show like, hey, remember this thing? And we have a show coming out. Like,
well,
like
it was setting up the armor.
That was it. But there's a whole thing about her cheating. Like, I figured that would come back.
That's what I thought it was. That no shortcuts, and the monkey paw was the shortcut. So that was I think that was the only point. It was a fun scene, though.
Yeah,
that was an awesome scene.
And it set up what was her name? Artemis, not Artemis.
Athena, Linda Carter.
Yeah, Linda Carter's character. It set up her character because that's what the games were for. Set up the armor, and I think you're right. Rich also set up, no shortcuts. And James, I think you're absolutely right. Where if this was in the theater, when you go see a movie in a theater, even a movie like Suicide Squad could be awesome, because you get that event feeling. You're hyped up for the movie.
You're also a captive audience.
Captive audience. You got a nice big bucket of popcorn and some Twizzies and
that first scene definitely drew me in. But then it was 40 minutes of talk.
Yeah, and no music. There was no 80s music in this.
Like I said, it was the least 80s movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like if you just called it Wonder Woman, I'd be like, okay. Like I would never have been like, this is not 19. Like I would not be like, this is 1984. Yeah. Like, okay.
Right. And I guess if you looked on the internet enough, they were like picking it apart, like the songs that were there from like 87, so they weren't really staying true to that timeline.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was visually beautiful. Like the CGI was gorgeous. Again, Chris Pine, and Gal Gadot's chemistry is on point. But like even that whole point, like I still don't. So what, he just came back and inhabited another person's body? Like does that person not, like, what happens to that guy? The guy probably missed like 3 or 4 days of his life. Like when Chris Pine's character left, was he like, what am I doing? Like, where did I go?
Yeah, and another podcast brought up the fact that he's on TV with her. What are his friends gonna say? What if he had a girlfriend and he's like on TV with this other woman? And so somebody also brought up she's essentially raping a guy because he's still that guy. It's just the souls in him.
Violated his body.
Yeah.
She's like, I love you. Well, then Jen explained it to me, like who that guy was at that Christmas scene.
Yeah. And
I was like, oh, okay. Like, now do they get together? Like, do they go get a cup of coffee? Like, do they start a romance? Because, she already knows what he's working with. So like, and then I looked at Jen being, oh, look, social gatherings outside without a mask. Oh, this is an 80s movie.
So ultimately you did not like it.
Again, I really feel, because Wonder Woman was such a good movie.
Yeah.
2/3 of Wonder Woman was a very good movie, and then the last third made it a good movie. I think this still really had big shoes to fill. It didn't help that it was hyped up before the pandemic, and then the date just kept getting pushed back farther and farther and farther. I think at one point it was never going to live up to its expectations.
Yep.
This could have been a perfect movie. I always consider Back to the Future a perfect movie. It was never going to be that type of like perfection. I think the length of it was going to get nitpicked. I think some of the acting and some of the just creative decisions were going to get nitpicked because everybody's been waiting for this movie. And it's just like, here it is. It's the same thing. Like, I feel like Black Widow should just come out, because the longer they push that movie out, I think the not as well received as it's going to be.
Oh yeah.
Again, you've had over a year to hype this movie up, and the hype's gone now for this movie.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even give a shit about it now. We're waiting for.
I never gave a shit about it because that movie was 8 years too late.
Yeah. So, Rich, what are your ultimate thoughts on Wonder Woman?
Well, Leo, I only saw it the once, and it was on Christmas, and I I work every day of the year except Christmas, and I had some edibles that day.
Ah.
So I was feeling no pain watching Wonder Woman 84, and I was definitely sort of in and out of it, being able to pay attention. But I mean, in general, I thought the storyline just wasn't very strong. Well, I thought it was interesting, like I said before, about Pedro Pascal being so over the top versus him in The Mandalorian. But still, essentially, all movie, I was like, oh man, I'm just like forcing this goofiness down my throat. And I didn't like it in general. The webs, it was like almost like web slinging on clouds and lightning.
Yeah, and then she can like fly or
well, they even said, and that kind of came out, was that a lot of that was reminiscent of Dawn or Superman, of her discovering to fly. And I kind of sat there being like, okay, like she finally found, it only took her 100 years to figure out that she could fly. Yeah. You know, none of the times that she was falling in the first movie that she figured that
you had to tell her how to ride the wind.
or even the best thing is like, oh, my father could make things be invisible.
Right. Well, see, I actually like that. I thought that was interesting, the way that they brought in the invisible plane. That she couldn't do it on the level of like making a whole island disappear, but she could make the thing that she was currently occupying disappear.
Well, I thought that was funny. She goes, I made a cup disappear, but I can't find it. Like, that line was very funny, the way, because Chris Pine's like, what now? Like, you've only done this once? And the joke is like, she made a cup mug disappear, now she can't find it. Like, that's like, okay, then it worked pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, and how did they find how did they refill the plane? You know, because they must have used up enough gas to refill, going all the way over there. But I do like that throwback from Super Friends, kind of like Aquaman had, the big seahorse and the suit. And
I actually missed what the extra scene was.
It was just Linda Carter being that Amazon god. In the world of men, survived. Like, a pole fell, she grabbed it, and it was like a big heavy metal pole, and they're like, how'd you do that? She goes, I shifted my weight. And then she looks like right back at the camera and tells her name, and I was like, where was this in? Like, that felt forced. If that was in the first one, I would be like, okay, that's pretty cool. But then you find out, like, and this is what I thought was funny, the reason she wasn't in the first Wonder Woman was due to scheduling conflicts. I'm sorry, they're making a Wonder Woman movie, and you made your career as Wonder Woman. I think Warner Brothers would move the Earth and sky to get you on this as a cameo in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, somebody pointed out, I guess Pedro Pascal was actually in the first Wonder Woman movie, like with Linda Carter, like the actual like a TV movie.
Oh, she was Steve Trevor. He was Steve Trevor.
Yep.
Oh no, it wasn't that. It was he was in the Adrian Palicki pilot that I think Aaron Sorkin did. And
it never came out.
Yeah, she wore pants, and everybody lost their goddamn mind about it. And then she wore pants in the comic books. Like, fucking people. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's let's see what happens. This is the third one's not coming out till I think 2024 at the earliest, because I know Rogue Squadron is coming out in 2023, and that's Patty Jenkins' next movie.
Yeah,
right.
So, and
between now and then, we'll have some more DC movies added to the stockpile. We're getting
the crap pile or the good pile.
Hopefully the good pile. I mean, we get Snyder Cut in March. And
I can't wait for that.
I know.
Got the James Gunn Suicide Squad.
Yeah. And next year, Batman.
You nervous about that one, James? You look nervous about that one.
Oh no, I'm excited about it. Like I said, I like James Gunn. I'm very curious because he basically Warner Brothers gave him the blessing to kill anybody he wants, including like Harley Quinn. So I want to know if James Gunn has the balls to do it. Because it's very Harley centric, some of that trailer. So I'm kind of wondering if that's the setup to it.
Right.
I already know like 2 or 3 are going to die right off the bat. Like you already know that. So like it's going to be one of those quick things. But like, you know, them bringing like King Shark and Weasel and, you know, the Tinker is like awesome.
Yeah.
Like
King Shark in the new cartoon is fabulous. Oh my god.
Oh, that's a great show. Jen was asking about watching that. I was like, I'll rewatch that with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Rich, you're watching that now too, right?
I just finished rewatching that like a week or 2 ago. Such a great series. Just the comedic timing and Alex Tudyk as the Joker and as Clayface.
Yep.
Oh, he's the best as Clayface because he's so over the top. And I'm like, you were a chicken in a Disney movie. I love you.
Oh yeah. I love that episode where there's like a piece of Clayface hanging out with James Gordon.
Yeah, it's like a buddy.
Yeah, they're buddies. It's just hilarious.
Well, I love the whole like the Harley Quinn show. James Gordon is my favorite character.
Yeah,
he is just so over the top, and he's ridiculous, and he just wants a friend with Batman. Like
he won't be his friend. Won't hang out with him.
But like he's in the. It was Christopher from Law and Order. The guy plays him, and he plays it to a T as like a stressed out commissioner. That only person who could fight crime is Batman. He keeps lighting the signal on. Like it's the best.
That's Christopher Filoni.
Yeah, it's whoever is who's Stabler on.
Yeah. I think that's Christopher Filoni. I believe that.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. Like he was just so funny in that role. So, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Suicide Squad. I think it's going to be one of those like off the wall movies. Like you're just gonna be like, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah, right. But are they going to pull like an X-Force and they're just going to kill half of them off right away, or?
Oh, I would not be surprised if like that happens.
Well, we know John Cena's character is getting his own show, so they're not going to kill him off.
Well, it could be set. They can set it before it.
Yeah.
But like, I like how they brought back some of the characters from this first Suicide Squad, and was Angela Davis plays Amanda Waller. Like that's a perfect role for her. Like that was such a like perfect casting. I do have to say, between Marvel and DC, some of these superhero movies, they're cast like perfectly. Like I knew like Margot Robbie was not my first choice for like Harley Quinn. But like she definitely grew on me, especially with like Birds of Prey, you know, and that's kind of like she's made it her own, which is nice. So,
I was going to bring up something I noticed during Wonder Woman. His son, at one point when he's like trying to do a wish and his father's stopping him, and ultimately the kid gets a wish in. He says, "I wish for your power, Daddy." Because
your greatness,
yeah. So I wonder if the kid's gonna grow up to be like some baddie with superpowers.
I still can't believe in all the Wonder Woman storylines out there, she couldn't pull for one of them.
Yeah,
like or at least something like that. Like you bring in like the Kingdom Come armor, which is like epic armor. And it's like in the scene for like 2 seconds, and it literally loses, like it gets ripped apart, by cat claws.
Yep.
Like I just don't get it.
They were very strong cat claws,
right? But you know, all the armor and all the swords and all the other weapons of man couldn't do anything.
It was vibranium.
Shh, that's a no word. Kevin Feige's gonna be like $10, please.
Yeah.
All right, it was adamantium. Oh, I did it again.
Damn it! Can't win. Oh, Marvel, just take my money. Here you go. Disney. Mickey's like, oh, give me your money, bitch.
Well, speaking of giving money, sounds like some people want them to give Robert Downey Jr. some money to put on some what is it, blue makeup?
Yeah, there'd be so it'd be Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah.
In the new Star Wars shows.
Somebody did a graphic. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up.
I shared it to you today. It should be easy to find.
Yeah. Talking about this one, right?
Yep.
Let's see if I can enlarge it. What do you think?
Yeah, I could see it.
What do you think?
Well, I like it. Again, like fan art looks fantastic. I think it'd be great. I don't think anybody could take him seriously as Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah.
Like I think he's going to be forever Iron Man and Sherlock. Like right now. Can he pull off a serious role? I mean, if Favreau is directing him or producing him, I could see him doing it. But is Robert Downey Jr. going to turn into Robert Downey Jr. being Grand Admiral Thrawn? Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, my vote. We were talking about it today off the show. Was they've also mentioned Jason Isaac.
Oh.
They've mentioned
last week.
Hugh Laurie.
I can see that.
They've mentioned Mark Strong and Matt Smith.
What about Negan?
No. Because the whole thing of like Grand Admiral Thrawn, he's supposed to be like an imposing person, but he's supposed to be like very like clean cut. Like he is like he's an alien, so he's like very like defined like jaws. You know, makeup and prosthetics and CGI nowadays can make anybody look like anybody.
Saru.
Who?
Saru. What's his name? He does all the weird aliens. Hold on.
Do.
It was in the that M. Night Shyamalan water movie.
You watched that movie?
No, I just Doug Jones.
Okay, Doug Jones.
Yeah. But if it's Doug Jones, give Doug Jones the lines though. He's actually a really good actor.
Yeah,
he's not just a guy in a suit.
Actually, I was shocked he played himself in Star Trek Discovery. They're on some weird planet where everything's like the hologram is like changing everybody, and they change him into a human instead of the alien that he plays. It was really
nice.
Yeah, it was really weird to see him, and he had his actual voice and everything. And it was
well, it's funny when you find out he's in Batman Returns. You're just like, oh, there he is. Then you can never not see him.
He was in Batman Returns.
Who was he in Batman Returns?
He was one of the clowns. It's funny, like it's like because he did something where he pointed himself out, and he's I think he's one of the clowns in which, he's one of the clowns I think who gets the bomb attached to. No, that's not him. Who is he? But he wears he wears black and white. He wears a black and white costume for him, and he survives pretty long into the movie. He's not one of the ones that Batman kills. So.
Watch.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that again and look out for him.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. That was his first role, was Batman Returns.
Sorry. Go ahead, James.
Oh no, I was just like, I mean, I'm curious. Like I said, I know they kind of said he's going to be the big baddie in the Ahsoka series. So, like I said, you know, I'm hopeful, you know, that, you know, they get somebody like definitely who could fill the roles. Again, an unknown would be fantastic. I always feel like sometimes Star Wars gets the best unknowns to play these characters. I would say Adam Driver, but we already have him in a ridiculous role to begin with. Yeah. So, but I watched more of his movies lately, and he's actually like really good. Like I have a new respect for Adam Driver in the last like year and a half since the Rise of Skywalker.
Really? What have you watched that you liked?
Have you the Torture Report?
Okay.
That came out. That was something I watched during quarantine. That's the one where does the investigation on the torture reports, in like the in enhanced interrogation. It was dude, I think it's on Plex. I think you put it on Plex. Okay. And it's on Plex. If not, it's on Amazon.
Okay.
Prime, and it's either Prime, it's free. but he's really good. It's a very dramatic role. It's like really cool. John Hamm's in it. Sally Yates is in it. So it's actually like it's very, very well done. And then of course A Marriage Story is just he's really good in that too. And then of course he just can make fun of himself, which is even more fun. Like his whole thing with John Oliver at the end of the year was great. You know, all his stuff on SNL is fantastic.
Yeah, the Star Wars SNL stuff was really classic.
Oh, the Oil Baron is my favorite one about like ever since I watched that one where he's the old oil baron and he goes to career day with Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
Everybody else breaks character except for him. It's the best.
Speaking of Thrawn, we haven't had you on since Mandalorian finale, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked about it.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you didn't.
Me, you, and Chris.
Okay. Never mind.
Hey, did anybody see that article where it's the guy that played Cyborg in Justice League is now out of the new Flash movie?
No.
Yeah, I guess he's excommunicado now.
Because he talked about he was like, I don't want to work with the head of DC Films ever again.
Yeah.
After what happened on Justice League.
But they never really said what happened, except that they were treated badly.
I don't know, because I know Gal Gadot had issues with Joss Whedon too, with some of the stuff. Like it's one of those things. I don't think we'll ever know the real story. I mean, what was being reported? Like, was he just treated badly? Was he like?
He never has really totally said that. I felt that. Yeah, he felt that it was a bad shoot, and everyone was uncomfortable. Some people were treated badly or not treated correctly. It's pretty much all he said.
Sounds like Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that project had some issues pretty early on in production, and then halfway during production, when you lose your director for personal reasons, you know, the whole shoot's going to be different at that point in time. Yeah. But again, I'm glad that he spoke up, because I feel like, you know, nothing will change if you don't say anything. It goes back to the whole Jeff Daniels thing. The first thing to solve a problem is admit that, hey, there is a problem. So hopefully that changes the culture at Warner Brothers, but you know, it's Warner Brothers, so probably not. So
no, I did see, and they don't think it's going to go through. Warner Brothers is looking to merge with somebody.
I know MGM finally is selling their library. That was the big entertainment news I read the last 2 weeks.
No, this is like today.
Who are they going to merge with? It has to be some Chinese company, probably.
Ultimately, I guess it's whoever Comcast owns. And they said in
whoever Comcast owns, Universal owns Comcast.
Oh yeah, that's it. So it's Warner Brothers.
No. I veto. Like no, we already. So that's going to leave what? That's going to leave Disney and Universal. Like those are the only two studios left.
Yeah, they said chances are AT&T merging with Comcast, that won't be allowed. So, but that's what I read today.
Yeah, Hollywood's eating itself.
Yeah, it is. Michael Keaton, he was in the news recently. Yeah, now Steven thinks that he's back as Batman for good, but I read that he's only back for Flash. What have you guys read?
Oh, I thought I just read something about a Batman. He was going to be doing a Batman movie in 2023.
Yeah, I heard they're doing two Batman series at the same time. You're gonna have the Robert Patterson.
Yep,
Sparkly boy. His Batman is going to be this own story, and then you're going to have this other one with Keaton. And Keaton's going to be a couple movies, but Leonard's right. They're trying to supposedly set up Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
And do like another one or two movies Batman Beyond.
But I thought they were still keeping Batfleck.
For one movie. It's only for Flashpoint.
What?
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's coming back to do Flashpoint.
I don't know. I think he's, for me, I think he's the perfect Batman so far. Live action.
Keaton?
No, Affleck.
Get out.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
No?
No, it's Keaton played Bruce Wayne and Batman very well. Also, the character was written the best. Like Val Kilmer is a close to,
but Keaton's too short.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but Tom Cruise has been tall for years in movies, so
exactly.
That means nothing.
Wow. He's not the height.
I really thought he was brilliant as the Vulture.
Well, he's coming back as the Vulture.
Yeah.
He was really good.
They're setting up Sinister Six.
Everybody's coming back for that movie. I'm sure.
I think it's the last one.
How much of that is rumors and how much of that is substantiated? Come on.
Well, a big chunk of it is confirmed.
Yeah.
But like I said, some of it's still rumored. But again, it's one of those things. It's if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck. It's most likely a possum.
I get nervous when they throw too many things in the mix.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it's going to be fan service. And, if we're talking about multiple dimensions, I'm sure a lot of characters you're only seeing for a couple seconds. So like, the big 3 Spider-Man coming together, maybe that's only for like 5 minutes or something like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, they confirmed that Alfred Molina is coming back as Doc Ock.
Right.
Yeah. And
so that's confirmed.
And Electro's coming back. That was confirmed.
Jamie Foxx's Electro's coming back.
Yep.
But it's not going to be blue Electro. It's actually going to be more of like how the Shocker was.
Yeah.
Like using Tomb's equipment or something like that.
Right.
But again, for me, I would just have him as, oh, you're one of those people who are affected by the snap. Oh, now you have powers. Oh, like a muton.
They can say it now. Jabo wants to know what we're talking about. Right now, we're talking about Spider-Man, but previously we were talking about Wonder Woman 1984, which seems like nobody liked. And then we talked about Thrawn, Robert Downey Jr. possibly as Thrawn.
Rich, do you think there's going to be any hint of the Joker in the Batman?
The Robert Pattinson?
Or do you think it's just going to be a Riddler story?
I haven't heard anything. But boy, I mean, listen, as much as I love the character, boy, DC just is beating it to death. I mean, I like some of the stuff they're doing in the comics. I did not love Jared Leto's interpretation. I know a lot of it supposedly was left on the cutting room floor. And I know that there was a big scene that I've read that they omitted where basically Batman beat the piss out of the Joker and knocked his teeth out. And they had a whole scene where that was the reason he had damage put on his head. And that's why he had the metal teeth. And I thought that'd be pretty integral to the movie, but still. Ugh. Anyway, didn't mean to spin off there. But I hadn't really heard anything. Have you heard rumors of something that maybe I missed?
It's a Batman movie, so I think there's always going to be a rumor that the Joker is going to be somehow involved because, again, it is the yin to his yang.
Right.
I hope not. I wouldn't mind like how they did like Batman Beyond. Like it's like a little hint, like he's around, but he's kind of not the main story. But
Right.
it's Warner Brothers, and like you said, it's the Joker, and it's a cash cow for them. So I could definitely see them. Oh, it's the Riddler, but who's pulling the Riddler's strings, or who is the Penguin's guy, or so? Like it's going to be this guy in the shadows. I feel like that, like especially when you see people painted as the Joker in the trailer.
Yeah.
Right.
Like with paint, like clown makeup.
You got to set up the next movie,
Yeah, they're always out for that next dollar. another 3 years down the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love seeing different interpretations of the Joker. So I mean, I'm always excited to see it, but I'm also sometimes scared of what they're going to do to it.
Yeah,
it is such an iconic character. But you know, I'm have no problem with an Elseworld story, or at least passing it off as an Elseworld story.
I would love, and if they're doing Flashpoint, to see a female Martha Wayne
or Duella Dent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step all over you.
No,
Oh, you're fine. You know more about the Joker than I do, so correct me anytime you want. I'm not gonna feel embarrassed by it. No, like I said, I wouldn't like. So the question then turns into, if that is the case, because they have to recast the Joker again. Is there anybody that you would like to see don the makeup, and what iteration of the Joker would you like to see?
Well, if they're going to do that, they're going to do Duella Dent. Jesus. Maybe Sarah Paulson. Or maybe it would even be interesting. I'm sorry, I'm blanking out on her name. The current one who's doing Harley Quinn.
Margot Robbie?
Margot Robbie. How about her doing it? You know.
What if it's another guy? What if it's another man character?
I really would like to explore from Gotham, Jerome.
Yes.
I really enjoy him in Shameless. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. What that actor's name is.
Yeah, it's also the guy from the new Star Wars game.
Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Right. I really like where he was going with it. I know he was kind of limited to what the Gotham scripts were saying, but I really thought he was a cool young Joker when he was having his suits on, really smooth and kind of the old gangster style, but he had kind of his own I don't know, je ne sais quoi to himself.
Like so you would like a mixture of all the different type of Jokers, like, because we've seen the gangster, the psychopath, the anarchist. Like, it seems like every Joker we have always has like a part of his personality. Like, you would kind of see more of like a combination of that, instead of like pick out the one trait about the Joker that you really like and run with it. Like,
Leonard, you were close. It's Cameron Monaghan.
Right, Cameron Monaghan. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I would love to see. I still think the best arc with the Joker in a while has been Death of the Family and the whole him cutting off his face. And I know they did that in Gotham. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more of that in an iteration of the Joker.
Sure, definitely an evil iteration. But I like even what they're doing now, which I'll be exploring with Leo in the near future, with both Joker War and the Three Jokers, which I'm not going to get any spoilers now because we're going to be doing that soon.
Yeah.
But really interesting stuff, and making certain things canon for the Joker in the DC universe, which has never been done before.
Are we going to get a true origin story? Even though Killing Joke, I think, is one of those, it's the unofficial origin story.
Well, I'll tell you, it's definitely, it's yeah, I'm just going to say it. So it basically makes the Killing Joke canon.
Love it. Not the movie, the comic, right? Because that movie's terrible.
Yep.
The comic. We never get a name, but we get stuff.
Ooh.
So I definitely recommend picking up Three Jokers. In my opinion, the first one, it's three comics. The first one's great. The second one I think is kind of medium, and the third one is amazing.
The one Joker arc that I've always wanted to read, and I can't find the trade paperback for it, is Emperor Joker. When he gets the powers of Mr. Mixelplex.
Mr. Mixelplex, yeah.
And I always heard that was like an awesome, dark storyline. Like, wasn't like one whole thing is like he eats the whole population of China because he wanted Chinese food or something like that. Like, okay, like, alrighty then. Like, I think when I heard about that, like on like on the Dorkly, whatever that YouTube channel was, and it said like top 5 twisted storylines or ridiculous Joker arcs, and I was like, ooh, I want to find that. And I've never been able to find a decent trade paperback of that.
I do not have that myself.
I don't know what Leo's doing. Leo, get off the dark web.
I'm just seeing to see if I have it already for you.
Leo's library.
No, I have Emperor
Leo's Blockbuster.
Yeah. Unless I have it on my other drive.
It's Leo. You don't have to look for it right now. I'm not like banging down the door to read it.
You know, I'm a problem solver. What's that?
No, I'm sorry. I was just suggesting that maybe they have a comic historian of that. No, it's a YouTube thing where they read you the comics. Sorry, I thought it was more well known than it is, perhaps.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, one of those stories I've enjoyed reading lately, and I actually I got the audiobook. Some of the you can buy like comic book audiobooks now. I got the whole No Man's Land comic book with like I got it off a site, a pirate site, and it's like how like Sandman was. So it's all sound effects, music, actors playing the parts, and the whole like No Man Land thing. Yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's one of the stories I've enjoyed recently is No Man's Land. And if you've never read it or know about it, it's actually a really cool story, which they took some from The Dark Knight Rises, but then did it, and they didn't follow through with it. So,
okay, I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's where Jim Gordon. It's another sad Jim Gordon book.
He's often abused.
He gets it pretty royally this time too.
Yeah.
Leonard says he has a paperback of Emperor Joker.
Ooh, nice. But now Leo has it, so now we all have it.
You'll be able to read it. I'll send it to you.
Yes.
Some cool stuff dropped on Netflix this week. Have you started watching History of Swear Words?
No, when did that dropped this week, right? That dropped yesterday, right?
It dropped yesterday, yeah.
That's the Nick Cage one?
Yep. It is hilarious.
Nick Cage can do no wrong.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the first episode's on fuck, and it's awesome. I didn't know the actor with the most fucks in a movie or most fucks of his career is Jonah Hill.
In which movie?
No, like from his career.
Oh, his whole career.
Yeah,
okay.
they counted all the fucks for like all the characters or all the actors.
I feel like that's just the majority. That's from like Superbad.
No, actually, 107 times from the last Leonard movie, Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Oh, Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's a comma in that movie.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Sam Jackson is like number 3. Check it out. The episode's it's like 24 minutes.
It's actor, right? Not movie. Because I would think South Park bigger, longer, and uncut. That whole first song.
Yeah. Yes, actor throughout their career.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Jonah Hill.
Yeah, but the series is pretty good. Definitely recommend. And then there's some new Afterlife show that looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's like Netflix is interesting because like they have stuff on there, but it's like, do I still keep giving you my money? Because I'm giving HBO, like HBO has like Doctor Who for me and a lot of the DC stuff, and some better movies, and Hulu is Hulu, and it's like where am I splitting my money here?
Hulu, you get Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Season 9 just dropped. I think it's season 9. New season.
Get a Fire Stick, James, and you reach out to me, and I'll tell you how to do it. You don't have to pay for any of it.
Oh, so trust me, I might have to do that.
Right.
Rich, you don't watch Letterkenny, do you?
No, I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry.
It's a Canadian show. Just
it's really whacked out.
I feel like it got really discovered when people ran out of American stuff to watch it during the lockdowns. So they went to this kind of was discovered, and it's one of those you'll never find it unless you actively search for it.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! Animaniacs was fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, it was.
It was such a good show. It's so referential. Like the whole episode where they're like, weren't there more of us in this show? Like they're so like they're making fun of like it's a reboot and it's like perfectly casted. Yeah. That whole episode where they're like, wow, we're running out of materials 5 episodes in. They're like, weren't there other people on this show?
What else you guys watching? Watching anything lately?
I just finished Viking season 6. It was the end of the series.
Do they make it to the new world?
Somebody does. Uba. Spoilers. Sorry. Spoilers. But yeah, and then a surprise character comes back from that you haven't seen him in like a couple of seasons, so I won't spoil that. At the very last episode, so that was surprising and kind of cool. But yeah, no major. We were kind of predicting maybe like a Force ghosts of like Lagatha and Ragnar, but we didn't see any of that. I don't know if anybody else watched that show or just me.
Was it a good ending, or was it like satisfying ending? Or
I mean, you never totally love a last episode, so I don't know. I want to say I was 60% satisfied and 40% kind of like, huh?
Leonard says, I believe Amazon is about to pick up Vikings to continue it. I've been hearing a lot of good things about it. I haven't started watching it yet.
Yeah, it's definitely a great show. And some of it does coincide with actual history. I've looked some of it up in my first couple of seasons. And it's just interesting seeing how the Vikings migrated to all these different areas, and you would not something you would ever think of. And it's violent, and there's a lot of like backstabbing. So there's intrigue. So it's a fun show. I highly suggest it.
I'll put it on my list.
I give it 3 crowbars.
Yes.
3 out of 4 crowbars.
Just a 4th one for good luck.
Yeah.
3.5. 3.5 crowbars. I'm editing. Self-editing on the fly.
There you go. No, I want to rewatch Battlestar. And I kind of want to watch. Yeah.
Okay.
And I kind of want because you brought up there's not a good ending to a show. I always thought the end of Battlestar was like really good. The last episode in particular. So I want to sit down. I haven't rewatched it since it went off the air. So I kind of want to rewatch it with like my wife and my older son, just because I think it's a really good show to watch, especially in today's climate. So,
a show that got a terrible ending is getting another chance at it. You saw Dexter is coming back.
Yeah, they announced that like 6 months ago, dude.
There was some new news about it though.
Yeah, I think they announced one of the bad guys.
Oh, yes.
Clancy Brown is going to be the bad guy.
Right, Clancy Brown, right.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he is.
Leah, where are you going to try to get him in the show?
I'll try. I think I reached out. I've reached out to so many people.
he's like, no. He's like, bad Leo.
Well, I send a lot of contact emails and I never hear back. So it's.
Do you reach out to them or their agent?
Normally I reach out. Well, I go to IMDb Pro and I go down the list. So normally if they have like a lot of times like bigger actors will have multiple agents listed. So I'll send an email to each agent.
Yeah.
A lot of times it doesn't pan out, but you got to ask.
Our little podcast that.
Yeah. But we did get Michael Dorn though.
There you go.
Yeah. We started watching Cobra Kai.
Yeah, everybody keeps telling me to watch it. I know it's on my list.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Oh my god, the first season I couldn't get past the 3rd episode.
Really?
I don't know. I just gave up.
It's my wife made a perfect comment. It's tough to root for the bad guy. I mean, you're rooting for the bad guy, but it's like it feels weird,
Well, wasn't this whole season because like Johnny like loses the dojo back to his master and he goes with it's in the trailer.
I haven't seen the trailer.
Anywho, in this season they talk about how because there's been the theory that Ralph Macchio's character is actually the bully in the movie.
Really?
And the roles are technically reversed, and he's actually the bad guy. And they actually talk about that and make that theory kind of solidify that theory a little bit more in the 3rd season. That it's not. He was never the good guy.
That he was never the good guy.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I was surprised it took that long to get on Netflix to begin with.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had to wait for YouTube Red to die.
Did it ever live?
It did. People paid money for it, but now it's
someone paid for something way in advance before it, even know if it was good or not. About a whole year membership.
Yeah, Rich. When
was it Queeby? Did you do the Queeby?
No. I DC Universe. I pre-bought an entire year.
Oh no.
Yeah. when Kevin Smith went on that huge, he did an episode of it and saying how great it's going to be, and it's going to be your one-stop shop for everything DC, because it's the DC Universe that's going to have every single show and episode and everything, and it had shit.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get your money back?
He renewed it.
I renewed it. Matter of fact, I renewed it again for the comics, even though I have most of the comics. But yeah,
sucker.
But a deadly cycle now.
Yeah, but now it's DC Infinite something. Yeah, I don't know.
Is it supposed to have new content in it, or has no new content?
It's gone to comics only.
All their stuff got transferred over to HBO Max.
Yeah, which is awesome. HBO Max is, it's such a good buy. Yeah, but I ended up building my own DC universe, in a little box that sits over there.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Good job. Yeah.
Yeah. Jabo says it's all comics now. Nothing good. Well, I mean,
yeah,
the comics are good. Yeah.
They did read a comic on a laptop. You give me a tablet, definitely. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually prefer reading them on the desktop. So larger screen. Tablet's okay. Okay, fine.
I like paper.
Yeah.
Physical medium, my man.
But I don't like. Okay, so I'm crazy. I buy the physical comic, but then I read the digital one because I don't want to open it. And if I don't want. Yeah, exactly.
We got to buy two copies then, a crappy copy and a perfect copy.
There you go.
Yeah,
Sarge would love you for that.
I know.
Wow.
Tell him you'll take his rejects, and then you'll buy a good one too.
There we go.
Ripped covers, torn covers, punctured things, top on a box he cuts open. There you go.
Yeah, you buy a reader and no, I'll stick to digital.
There you go.
And bagging back the physical when it comes in. And put
It'll just sit in his closet forever and ever and ever.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Does anybody read the Dresden Files?
No.
No. Yeah, it's a great series. He just released 2 books back to back this summer within 3 months of each other. I think book 16 and book 17. It's about Harry Dresden. He's a wizard in modern day Chicago, who's also a private investigator. And like he's a wise ass, and like he talks about like Spider-Man, and he throws like Marvel quips in there here and there. It's written by this guy named Jim Butcher. He was at like Kineticon, I think, 2 or 3 years ago.
Dresden Files?
It's called the Dresden Files. Yeah, it's like the first book or two, they're like just okay, but every book draws you in more and more, and the character development builds and builds, and it's phenomenal. And like the last 2 books, so much changed in the world. It was like emotional.
Who is it a Marvel title? Is it under like a Marvel sub thing?
No, it's an independent writer. It's Jim Butcher. They're full-length books. There's supposed to be 22 books in this series, and I think they just finished book 17 or 18.
Oh, nice.
But it's cool. It brings in a lot of like Odin stuff and magic and rules of magic, and it's pretty cool.
Oh, Leo, add it to the list. He's already in the dark.
Absolutely. They have done some comics, but I don't think the comics really do the books justice.
Oh, okay.
And there was even a TV show, but it was done really badly. I want to say like 7 or 8 years back. And the star was the guy that was in The Flash. He was like the detective. I think he was Black Canary's dad. Anyway,
okay.
It wasn't terribly well done. Anyway, I'm just spinning off on Dresden Files. The love of mine. I've read that series over and over again, listened to the audiobook over and over again.
Oh, it was nice. Oh, add it to, I'm gonna have to get that now.
Yeah.
Do you have Audible or?
Oh yeah. I just listened to Tina Fey's autobiography, and I listened to Kevin Smith's, one of his books. I'm trying to get through the 35-hour Barack Obama book.
Oh,
it's actually a really good book. He narrates it, so it's actually like really well done.
Oh, nice.
I'm 10 hours into it, and he just is like his first year in the White House.
Wow.
So 10 hours in.
You were right on 30 Rock.
What?
That it definitely peaked and then went down.
Oh yeah, 30 Rock. Yeah, it got to a point where it ate itself.
Yeah, we just finished it a couple days ago.
I got my wife to start watching it, and it's too funny. I love Tina Fey, that's why, and Alec Baldwin is fantastic.
Mr. Mayor starts tomorrow.
Ted Danson, baby.
Yeah, but that's also Tina Fey.
Yep.
That's a new series?
Yep.
He's the mayor of Los Angeles.
Okay.
I'll start my rewatch of West Wing shortly. So.
Never seen it.
You've never seen The West Wing?
Never seen West Wing.
Never seen The West Wing.
Did you ever watch The Newsroom?
Nope.
With Jeff Daniels?
Oh, was that the one on Apple?
No, this is the one that was on like HBO, and it's you've seen on the internet like why America is the greatest place in the world. That whole scene with Jeff Daniels that you see on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That's from the newsroom. That's the first scene of the show. So, Aaron Sorkin's just really a good writer for that kind of stuff. He also did Sports Night,
Okay.
which was really good as well. So, West Wing's like seven seasons, but Aaron Sorkin left after season 4, and that's kind of when it kind of went off the rails.
Yeah. Well, I'll add it to the list. Too much to watch, too little time.
We're all home. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't leave the house. I struggle to put pants on a day. This is how I work. This is how I do my job. I could be down when I'm wearing below my waist.
Yeah,
what's wrong with that? When you want to come home and take your clothes off. Look, I got a nice velvety robe on, all comfortable.
I sat there. I was like, "Rich looks nice." He's like leaning. I'm waiting for like him to pop up with like a thing of like cognac and like a cigar. Like,
well, I didn't realize till rewatching the introductions where it says above 18, and I was like, "Oh, should I roll up like while I'm here? I'll be all relaxed."
Just sit there, have a little red light on, and just kind of be like, "Hey guys, welcome to our mature podcast." But he keeps saying nudity, so it's just like, we'll see what happens. We all sit there with like censor bars over ourselves, like face up.
Pasties. It's all about pasties.
Dorkening pasties, just boop boop.
Yeah, I got purple and green ones. They
There you
flicker
go.
right. Propellers.
I was gonna say, just jiggle myself. Your cat's like,
It's your fault, Leo. You said this was adult. Totally your fault. You have no one to blame.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me. It's okay. Leo's looking at me like, it's an hour and 11 minutes in the show. This is about when these conversations start happening.
This is when the real stories happen.
This is when the true fans hang out. Is after an hour. The truth. This is where the truth is told.
When people start loosening up.
Yeah. Leo's like, how about that? All right. Rich is the Belle Daphne of the Dorkening. Oh, Rich.
Now I have to look up what that is. I have no idea what that is.
Same.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Leonard, educate us, please. We will wait patiently while you do.
Silence on an audio podcast is golden for our listeners.
Oh, they don't get it because I have a great Adobe Audition script that like removes silence.
Are you sharing this with the rest of the group, or is this just hoarded for Leo Pond only?
Well, you need Adobe Audition to do it. There's a tool where you can. I'm
joking, Leo. I don't really care.
I'm just okay, but you have to. Internet gamer that sold her bathwater. Okay.
Rich, you have bathwater for sale?
My bathwater?
The gamer girl that sold her bathwater.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Cool.
Go me.
I think that's a fantastic place to wrap up tonight.
I think so.
If you're the host, like, sure, awesome, cool.
It's just been one of those days. My you may notice my camera is totally off today. I right before I went live with the first show, my main camera, which is on this arm connected to my desk, like fell off. Like the whole arm like is behind my desk for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had to scramble and find another camera and then prop up it's propped up on a jab right hook book by Gary Vaynerchuk. Dead silence. Okay, I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. Definitely check out the show notes for all our awesomeness and to follow our guests, and head on over to thedorkening.com, which you can find all the shows on the network. And with that, Rich, where do you like people following you?
You can follow me anywhere. No, Connecticut Joker forever on Instagram. I guess that's it.
Yeah, and people will be able to find you next Tuesday.
Yes, on.
We're doing a reboot of Splash Pages, and I forgot what Chris is calling his show. We're doing it as one broadcast, and then I'll just give the audio file so he can get his show up as well. Mike Tyson Punch Out the Reference. There we go. James.
You can find me for my personal tweets on Instagram at LongTimeStorm. As well, I don't really put anything up there exciting, but if you follow me at It's Go Time with Jay and James, that's my show. We just recorded our year in review 8 days after the fact, so that should be up to tomorrow. Tomorrow, but follow that. We have a live show coming up on this Sunday, so check that out. Just go into your wonderful Facebook and search It's Go Time with Jay and James, as well as Instagram and Twitter too. I mean, we have one whopping follower on our Twitter account, so go watch.
We need to
it's the Dorkening. It's the boss's Twitter account that follows us.
And also your shows can be found on Mondays back to back with the live sports show.
I'm excited about that. I told my wife that we were in syndication, and she asked when do we get our syndication money, and I said I laughed at her. And then we can't lucky and have the syndication rights of what MASH, whatever that, or Friends, or whoever has that ridiculous syndication deal.
Yeah, but it's it's all working towards something. So hopefully Hellfire grows, and we'll go along with them. So just Hellfire Radio. We have information in the show notes. But if you do the Live 365 app and just search for Hellfire Radio, or if you go to I believe it's hellfireradio.com, you can find the radio show, and 7 days a week you can find Dorkening shows.
There you go.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Peace out.
Peace out.